I want all that pressure to, you know, culminate into this one game right here so we can finally see it happen. Of course, once again, recharge Strongholds before we kind of tease you with it. Let's just make sure make sure it starts.
I was going to say, I got a little bit of a giggle there because on the battery it said maintenance required, restart.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
even the game's making jokes now.
We were flying through Aquarius and it said caution wet floor, and I just had the ADD and I was like, oh my god, you better not slide over there. All right, here we go. Recharge Strongholds. Finally, Porky J on board here, and early on, he's going to go straight up into yellow. See what he can do with Renegade.
Couple of shots being put down as well. Kills going to be traded across the board. So you can see off the rip here, XSET kind of got the worst of it. A couple of players did fall to them as Cratos will actually lose that battle as well to Renegade. So control early on here, BC in the control of Cloud9. Now, let's see if they can get those staggered spawns like we mentioned before.
Right, you got to do that first. You got the sword still up. FilthyG going to do what he can to just hold C down. Under a lot of pressure though. And no teammates nearby to help him as well. They still do have A rotating, coming through from Cratos. Cratos drops, unfortunately, so Penguin, StelluR already together, dropping 2, and you have 2 still up. Is this the reality that you mentioned? Are we getting
exactly there? Now C9 know where the spawns are coming in because it doesn't matter if you die, right? Because you've got 2 players across the map that still have a 2v2.
Okay.
Now you're seeing the push coming in. They do manage to convert A. They have a triple cap in effect, and now it's an opportunity here for XSET, having picked up those kills, to slow things down for just a second. They have a 2v4 advantage on the map. Now they can make their play onto B. So you can see how Cloud9 are trying to play it. It was just a few things didn't quite go together, but at the start here, 45-0, they get the reset onto B. So all of a sudden it looks a little bit different here.
Immediately convert 50 points and counting for this team. Now Cratos going to do what he can with Renegade. Takes a double for it, and that's the type of play you need to see from this man to get any sort of control back. Of course, then just dives out one shot, gets tagged by Penguin, unfortunately. Now up to FilthyG to hold the angle here from Ace. Teammates dead in front of him too.
Now look at the pressure already coming in. This is what I mean. FilthyG, last player alive.
Okay.
And he's already being pushed by players. And all these players right here, C9 do not care if they are trapped here because they have control of 2 strongholds.
Right.
They can wait for them to have to make a play. They have the numbers advantage. Finally, a couple of kills going their way, but a 2-for-2 trade for C9 means they are not going to lose a stronghold. It's really smart here for C9.
Oh, for a second I thought he was going to take both kills, but just the way that, like you said, Penguin also micromanaging both fights here. StelluR going to try to lock this down for the hallway as well. You can see Suspector on the approach. And like you said, they're not even going to worry about A. They're going to hold this down, let them kind of filter out, take them as they come through the perimeters, one by one.
Especially with that shock rifle in hand. 1 bullet is all it takes. Or 4, if your name is Renegade, as he picks up a beautiful perfect, and the last player alive will be taken down as well. It's going to be a 1-shot inside of B. They get control, and now watch the push towards A. They're just going to wait a few seconds for the spawns to come in just to secure where they are. Then they'll make the play onto A. But for now, I mean, 106-0. This is about as good as a start as you can get. This is as good a start as you can get, all right?
I don't think it gets any better. On top of the fact that Renegade looked like he had so much free time, he crossed the entire map, said, I want the sword. I'm looking to make plays with it. On top of that, you got StelluR locking down Red with the shock rifle. Suspector going to do what he can just to tiptoe in there, but that's a hallway guarded. Already past the halfway point here. Starting to wonder where XSET are on the map when this is happening. They can't seem to break out of A. They'll take trades. Is that enough, though?
Yeah, trades are fine for C9, though, because they have control of strongholds. So it's just the case they are continually scoring. Finally, XSET are going to get some sort of semblance of control, but as I say that, they work so hard to get C. The A conversion comes in, all eyes away from A. StelluR has that shock rifle still and is still hitting some nice headshots. And I'm just looking across the stats at the moment. I highlighted Penguin. Is he going to have a big game? He's 11-5, Alex.
Right. That's the thing is, I think he heard us. I think he heard us with what happened. He's like, I'm still proving myself, apparently. So here you go. He pops off, beginning of game 1. StelluR, of course, opportunity to do the same. Cratos down below. Does he hear him, though? You got 2 flankers down below. FilthyG, first victim, not looking as he crosses through as well. Look at this as he drops down Eco with a pickup, little bait and switch. And Cratos takes 2. Penguin will get it, but Cratos, dirty play.
Big play that came in, but it was traded out almost immediately again. And you can see how difficult this is for XSET, right? Because of the fact that they're never in a straight 4v4 scenario. They're never getting the first kill in the team fights. They're always having to scrap for any kind of pressure, any kind of opportunity to convert one of these strongholds. C9 are just choking them at the moment. That's another 2 dead. Now you're going to see the push on to C. They know where the last 2 players alive are. They're going to stifle them, and if they kill them as quickly as possible, trust me, C9 will be flying back towards A. However, they're now staggering those spawns just for a few seconds. StelluR's doing a pretty good job. StelluR's doing a phenomenal job to pick up those kills. He's now 10-5.
214-0. We talked about this pre-series. We said, how good is Cloud9 versus XSET? And based off of how this goes, we get a sense of how Ascend might play. But this is about to be 250. Have we had a 250-0
This is a triple kill.
yet?
I don't want to. It's almost like I don't want to watch. You know what I mean? It's like a horror film, but you know what's going to happen, but you don't want to really experience
My
it.
God.
As StelluR now steps up, 243 and rising. Who would have thought coming into this game, Alex, we'd be thinking, will XSET get a single point on the board? We're about to find out our answer.
You had to be dreaming, is what I would have said, but here is our reality. 250, 1 point off, there it is, 250-0 to close game one. I mean, XSET, as good as they might have looked earlier on today, something happened. C9 happened. Maybe are they mentally, do you think maybe their mental is kind of shattered? Just
250-0.
It definitely can, and we might see it right now. Of course, here we go, live fire Slayer. What a game one we had. I have no idea what to think coming into game two, other than if I'm XSET, I'm worried. Hopefully you got a second win, a last-second opportunity to fight back in this, because C9, they are coming with a force in this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, XSET needs to step up. There's no other way to put it. Otherwise, this series might be over quicker than a microwave dinner is, like, cooked, you know what I mean? It'll be done and dusted, and you'll be eating that thing, and it's still cold in the middle, but Suspector,
like
right?
Beside you too.
Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about what I've been eating for the last 20 minutes. I'm going to be feeling that later on, but early on here, at least a couple of kills being traded, but there you go. Heatwave immediately in the hands of C9, prioritizing weapons, 3 dead.
Suspector was sniping in the back pocket as well, so a lot of playmaking potential. How do they play it? He's going to play it patiently for now. Camo popping up in just a second. You can see that the entirety of Cloud9 aware of it. They've got all their players rotated out for it. But Cratos in the meantime with a bit of a flank. FilthyG as well. Maybe a pinch opportunity on the outside here from both sides of the map. Assuming they see StelluR sneaking in through A, they will take him. Got Eco making the advance onto Camo, though. Nice shots out of Suspector to keep him back. Eco playing it so patiently. Somehow living through these nades here, too.
It's just brilliant from Eco. It's just every second he buys there, he buys his teammates time, but I talk about patience, I talk about playing well, right? Suspector did not take his eyes off of it. He was locked like a hawk onto that situation. Knowing those 2 players are alive, all he had to do was make sure they didn't escape. If they don't escape, and even if they do, he needs to have that information to relay to his teammates on where to push off respawn.
Very different looking game two, that's for sure. XSET, you know, we saw 250-0 to start. They breathe. They can fight back, at least early on. Big part of that due to that power weapon, that sniper. But, of course, things have transferred hands at this point. StelluR with the heat wave. You got Cratos below him. You got Penguin, who should be able to get the pinch, but quite awkward timing for this player here. They drop it with the nade instead. You got to love the attention to detail out of StelluR, not over-challenging that situation. Playing it carefully, but a couple trades here, and ultimately, XSET may be a chance to pull away.
An opportunity, possibly. However, can they take the opportunity? That's the real question here. StelluR's going to be trying to stay alive, and I like the fact that he's challenging here because he knows that the information that he's giving is that I have a heat wave. So if you try and chase me, then it's an opportunity that I'm going to trade a kill. So XSET recognized that as well, using that repulsor to escape. 2, also keeps the attention on him, right? Yep. What's that allowed his teammates to do? Respawn, come back and help him in the fight. You saw that Penguin got the double kill, and now it rolls into the next advantage here for C9. They have that camo.
Here we go. Camo on board with StelluR. Spawners up on A side. StelluR playing it patiently. See 2 kills in the feed already, so now 15-14 here. Remaining 2 players outside. Penguin, sneak attack onto Cratos, walks away with a perfect, does get the trade. That'll leave that heat wave down on the map though. FilthyG, what can he do with this dilemma here? Important weapons to control it. You got the snipe popping up shortly as well. The entirety of C9 aware of it though.
So Porky J just trying to play things a little bit sneaky here. He's got his teammates in a great position to give him information. You can see by playing that position, the call needed to be was there's someone pushing sandbags, right? And all he has is that first shot. First shot advantage is everything in Halo over the years. It doesn't matter what version of the game you're playing. And now you're seeing 3 players come off respawn and target in almost immediately, making that call out. But Renegade's going to have to play safe here. He's going to have to escape. 18-18 though, and I said that XSET had to step up. They have for the start of this game. Can they keep it up though? It's a very different question to be answered.
They're holding on at the very least here, keeping it even. And if anybody's going to pull away, maybe Cratos could be the one to do it. 5 shots in the snipe as well. How does he play? Oh, he's being flanked too. This might be a bit of a pinch. He's got to regroup with his teammates here, and I like the safe play through center, playing it patiently. Multiple trades in the feed as he does it. Man's just got to line up a shot. And he can't seem to find an opportunity.
Suspector comes in to finish off that kill onto Penguin, but the sniper is going to be down top middle. StelluR has it in his hands, and we've seen B do some crazy, crazy stuff with it. However, StelluR has to escape and play his life. Picks up a heat wave along the way, so he can be able to lock down some nades here, help his teammate out potentially, but Penguin gets taken down. FilthyG challenging, takes him down to no shields, but StelluR should always win that fight. Oh my god, StelluR!
Okay.
Says, I don't need any shields, I just need one bullet, and I can write the script for you.
The man's the only line of defense on the camo. It looks left, looks right, just Blainin apparently. Spawner's now up outside, and he can just lock this angle down, make it easy for his teammates. I mean, do you challenge that? Do you dare challenge it? So far, so good here for C9. They're not really quite pulling away too much just yet. Only a 3-kill deficit, or 1 kill actually, definitely. Make it 2.
This is the worrying point though, right? A very smart man called Sundance D. Giovanni once said a Slayer starts at 30. And the reason that I call him a smart man is because that is how games actually pan out. It's all good up to this point, but this is where the adrenaline starts coming through, right? This is where the heart starts pumping. This is where you realize that a misplay can cost you a game. And look at the score right now. As soon as this sentence started, it was very tough. It was very, very close. Now that it's finished, all of a sudden it's a 5-kill deficit, and when we're closing in on that 50-kill mark, that is a huge deficit to make up.
StelluR, look at this flank. The timing, though, a little unfortunate. He does get traded off because of it. Penguin does win his fight. 4-kill advantage. Still not out of it, though, right? Double kill on the board of Porky J. How did they play this, though? Going up through center. Heat wave, that's convenient. Sits down, he will pick it up. Going to be so important. Suspector locks down one as well, brings it a little bit closer. The trades continue, though, for C9. As long as they continue to do that, they hold on to that slight lead, making things so difficult to come back. You can also see they have the higher point of the map here, too. It'll lock down C-side.
That's all they need to do at this point. C9 will know that. They'll put themselves in positions where they're going to trade every single kill. The heat wave's still in their hands as well, so they can afford to play a little bit sneaky, play some corners, and wait for XSET to have to make plays, because that's the case now. XSET have to make plays to make up this difference. They can't afford to just sit back and let the play happen in front of them, because Cloud9 will pressurize, and Cloud9 will keep that pressure on. Now you're going to see the flank coming in from StelluR. Simple kill for him, 43 to 37, 7 kills now. Cloud9 away from going 2 up in the series.
The timing at it, okay, he's still going, apparently, but the timing out of StelluR there to jump on the heat wave the moment it spawned, to intimately know that it was there, despite not even having the last heat wave. And now he's got the heat wave and the snipe. And if anything, he rotates it back to the team. And of course, look at the generous man he is. He drops the heat wave down for a teammate. Set up with snipe, camo on the body. I mean, 44 to 37, they got everything.
Yeah, I mean, they are the arsenal right now on the map. Ooh, that kill didn't quite register in the way that I thought it would, but that's pretty good from Eco. Oh, Richard Sims calls it the Predator combo. He picks up double. He's going to pick up another as well. Eco is just hunting here on live fire with 2 kills to go here. Cloud9 ain't throwing this one away.
You know, it looked close early on, but at this point, it's all but guaranteed. Make it 49 and 50 out of StelluR to close it. A 50 to 39. A game that was, like you said, what was it? The words of MLG Sundance. It was neck and neck till about 30. And then at that point, it completely pulled away.
It's crazy how it happens, though, right? And it is just pressure. It is how one 4 dead, one play not going your way, one power up can really roll, because you realize that you have to make plays. You have to try and do things differently, and teams can fall apart when that does happen. So it's a very interesting dynamic that does happen in Slayers a lot of the time, and the best teams always seem to have the better side of that 30 kills. You know, you get that first team fight going your way, and I'll tell you what, I made a little bit of a joke and a little bit of a whatever about the microwave dinner, but maybe there's going to be a bulldog that's kind of like fighting against you, and I think a lot of the actual opportunities on this map, with all of those things we're talking about, dynamo grenades are the most important thing for me in that. Outside of rockets, I would say. I feel like OS is kind of like, it's nice to have, but it's not like previous Halos. You can melt on OS pretty quickly. If you have the dynamos and you control the dynamos, not only can you clear out bar and you can clear out the treehouse, I mean, you can create so much information for your team from where the ticks are coming in, the audio cue, the damage you're doing, but they're the areas you need to control to have success on the opposition's part of the map. By using 2 dynamos, you gain that just by throwing them in there. And I feel it's almost better than firing a rocket into the same areas.
It's a good point. The area denial that comes with it too, right? You just toss it at the front of a doorway, it drops down below. Next thing you know, it's not efficient to run through the door anymore. You're stuck. You can't get the angle you need to contest the camo or the OS, the rockets, etc. And we'll see it come together right here. We already see Dynamos in play, tossing them up into the lockers, and Penguin very quick to collect the OS, put it on the body.
Another thing that I'm seeing used more and more here as well to clear out some of the areas that we're seeing here, like the treehouse. As we see that overshield, like I mentioned, just being melted, but it's moving forward, it's creating an opportunity here, and now you're going to see C9 just flying in.
Opportunity
after
for a
that
couple
damage
kills.
is being done. And the spike grenades, right? The spike grenades are so strong, like all grenades are in this game type. For clearing out the likes of, you know, the hut where Porky J finds himself now. You chuck a couple in there, that guy's guaranteed dead. There's no way he's escaping.
Porky J in the corner with the rockets, by the way. Unfortunately, does not get to shoot him. Instead, leaves it for Penguin. He'll drop that man to no shields. And he does know somebody's nearby. He's hiding in the corner. Penguin did not quite see him. I'm sure he got the call out. That's why he looked. But Suspector with the patience, and it pays off enough to disrupt this pull just a little bit. StelluR will pick it up. We'll see how far he gets, though.
Suspector spending a lot of time not just playing Halo, but hide and seek by the looks of things. He's a hide and seek world champion, but you know, you gotta adjust your skills and sharpen them where you can. But this flag is moving for now, as we see Eco with a beautiful thrust there to hit that final headshot onto FilthyG. But do they have the slays appropriate here to actually get that flag moving? As Renegade drops down onto the top of the door, he's gonna try and reintroduce himself to the battle, but Suspector is gonna drop the frag grenade down to stop that.
Not often do you see that little door being used as a you know, reach-out kind of opportunity. So risky.
Yeah.
But Renegade looks to pull it off. Unfortunately, does not quite do it. Porky J with an advance onto the locker. Can't quite live. In the meantime, Suspector going to try to lock things down from this door. But so far, Porky J, I think he got the farthest to get to the base. That's the only real, you know, progress they've made. But here's the Dynamos. Once again, maybe an opportunity for Suspector to lock things down.
Yeah, this is what I mean. They've just completely locked down two areas of the map there with the Dynamos, right? The heart, the treehouse, and the bar, which means that they couldn't be challenged. It was the play actually on the Rocket side who managed to take him down. That overshield, I think, is still down as well. It hasn't been burned, but it has now finally been popped. So it's going to be Renegade who picks it up. Now, last time we saw this, C9 used the overshield to just run at them. That's what's happening right now. The opening is made once again with that overshield, and C9 have breached the defensive now of XSET.
Oh my, the way it seems to look is you run at him enough times and eventually you break through the defenses. Only so many times that XSET can get away with this. I mean, loving the approach from Eco here. Just not quite enough. A bit of a bait and switch to slow their roll just a little bit. But Penguin with a shotty in hand. Does he? Yeah, he gets out. Oh, okay. He doesn't get far.
Yeah, unfortunely, his Uber was derailed there as he tried to escape with that grapple shot. Didn't quite work out for him, but you like the idea. Again, just recognizing map situation, seeing his teammates in front of him has died, so he backs out. He tries to wait for a position where the respawners can cover him as they move up the map. But now we're actually seeing XSET inside of the base. The first time we've seen things moving, and the timing is perfect. Not only is that kill important, but also Suspector has the rockets.
Look at this. Kratos, unfortunately, does drop StelluR with a massive pickup, but flag collected. Porky J gonna take it out through center. Man get tagged. He'll get to the locker here. Teammate to bait out with him. Perfect defense onto Eco, who can't get the kill. And a huge opportunity here for XSET as they somehow stay alive and rotate this flag. They can't get it through the damn door, though.
Every single
Gotta
second
get it through the door here.
that it takes to move this flag is a second that a respawner is going to be able to move up the map. And that was the problem there. They didn't take the risk to throw it out into a less vulnerable position. I think throw that down bottom middle.
Just straight out.
Don't hold it in the heart. You give yourself the opportunity to take different angles and on that return. C9 have to send it back to base. They're trying to force too much. They're trying to be a little bit too clever there. Overshield popping in 5.
The brutal thing, too, is, like, I didn't quite get to see it, but you want to juggle that flag is typically the approach. If anything, it might have hit the top of the doorway, but either way, it's done and dusted now. Penguin already on their front door. Thankfully, they got a green gun to back them up, and there's an OS, and there's 3 more players here to join the fray.
That's going to pick up a double kill as well. That's going to completely clear things out. And you can see that not only bar control, but also treehouse is now C9. So Eco knows that they're going to be spawning down on the rocket side of the map. That means he's going hunting right now. His teammate's going to be doing some damage. Penguin picks up one. Porky J is going to find himself in the deathbed as well, as Penguin will pick up yet another. The flag is already inside of the heart, and I mean, Cratos is just watching this right now. This is going to be a cap here for C9. They will go up 1-0, and that is just the most perfect example of execution here that you could possibly ask for.
So beautifully executed. The full round displays, all 4 in, covering all the spawn points, isolating the one, like you said, in the alley. They know where they are. It's easy to close them off, and I mean, Renegade, he's not stopping. Got Penguin with the pickup here. Porky J down center. Renegade sees it. And of course he hits him. He hits him with the jiggle peek reach out, but this man's just pre-fire. He's pre-firing the angle.
I mean, that's just crazy from Renegade. That's just like being a special player. Like, not many players can do that kind of thing under that kind of pressure. He is one of those players. Now we're going to see the teamwork starting to roll here for C9. I mean, every single time we're seeing a C9 player who's no shields, He's just hiding himself for 2 seconds because he knows that his teammate's going to be there to give him those extra shots. Then the pressure's put onto XSET. They can't do anything. StelluR's picking up kills. StelluR's looking for doubles. It's a double for StelluR, and the flag is moving as well.
Does he have more? Oh, he snaps from one side of the map to the other to try to get damage on both players here, and honestly does the trick. You can see FilthyG limited options. Renegade has a bead on him. It says there's no way you're taking this angle without us getting that flag through the doors. And likely another capture here. Suspector will do what he can from the front doors, but all he can do is watch as it gets planted.
Yeah, I mean, again, C9 just so good. I mean, we just saw it almost from the perfect point of view, which just might sound crazy because we're watching a player with no shields. But he has no option.
He can't do anything.
Like, what else can you do? If you challenge top middle, you got 2 BRs on you. You're dead. You have to just let that one go and try and find some sort of map control. PorkyJ might have an opportunity to do that now with the overshield in his hand, but there's an AR from StelluR, but it's not enough to take down PorkyJ. So 2 kills have fallen in quick succession. That's 3 dead actually now for C9, but the respawn comes in on the thruster, which is a little bit unfortunate here for PorkyJ, you have to say.
Sometimes it's ideal if you're ready for it, but in PorkyJ's case, look at man's just stuck in a corner. Renegade has the timing he needs to get the trade, and honestly, you get the trade, you're good, because your team is in the other base already.
StelluR trying to move up and clean up the kill onto Cratos. Not going to happen for now, but FilthyG still kind of patrolling around the bar and around the balcony. Flag is going to be pulled once again by C9, but not the most effective pull. Nice shots from Cratos. There's a little battle with the thrust there. It was almost like we had 2 players who brought their Spartans over from Halo 5 into Halo Infinite, but Renegade with some nice cross-map shots. And again, the confidence in Renegade there, not backing out, not putting himself in a position where he has to retreat. He just walks out onto balcony and said, I dare you to hit the shots.
You're seeing it right here with Suspector as well. They're just flying out center, dropping in, just kind of like daring Suspector and his accuracy to see what he can do here. He's got no choice but to try to get out. The nade will deal with him. Cratos now alone, stuck in the corner of the map here. Penguin with the challenge. Wait for the bait and switch to come in too. You got Eco holding down the line of sight all the way from Rockets. He knows exactly what to do. And as these boys stay up, the options of FilthyG.
Renegade!
Wait, was he waiting on the door? He's waiting on the door.
Alex.
Oh, no.
You hate to see it, my friend. You hate to see it.
Oh, no. And the pre-nade into the alley, too. There's the spawn knowledge here. There's no way you chow him. You have no choice but to overextend. And look, he's seeing him practically through the walls. He's so aware of it.
Flag's going to be past the 50-yard line already. StelluR once again has that flank.
Yep. So
everybody's going to be funneling into the base right now, funneling in to areas where C9 know they are. They only have to pick up a couple of kills here. But I have to say, that little bit of a stall has allowed some respawners to come in here for XSET. But Penguin, I mean, he's got the fists up a little bit like we saw from Eco a little bit. And now Renegade's going to move in to clean that one up. Can they get that flag touch, though?
He did just enough to get the defense here. PorkyJ's on top of it. Renegade does not chow it, though. And instead, that flag return actually goes through. So PorkyJ gets away with it for now. Renegade in the hand, or sorry, Shoddy in the hands of Renegade. Maybe a couple kills. Gets melted for it, though. That's 2 dead. XSET, they hang on. Still a little bit of time to work with here. Just can't make a lot of progress. Defense is the only option so far.
I got to say, I'm a little bit surprised that C9 didn't manage to convert there.
I thought he would have gone out for
All
that.
of the pieces seem to be in the right place.
Yeah.
And something just didn't click. And surprisingly for me, it was C9 just weren't quick enough to make a decision on how they wanted to actually force the flag home. If they made that a little bit quicker, maybe they can funnel those players in and throw it out into a position where maybe through the double doors would have been a better call. It's easy to say in hindsight, of course, but put it into a vulnerable position where they force XSET to make a decision. But for now,
there's so much
2-0 up. You're allowed a few mistakes.
That's the thing too, is like Renegade's sitting there, he's like, I could shell out, but also we're just gonna do this again in 30 seconds. The comfort, the level of comfort you see with this team is they just, systematically take XSET apart. What can they do? FilthyG, PorkyJ gonna try their hand. Flag already out through the double doors. Nate does come in, and he keeps StelluR now 1 shot. They'll drop him as well. And that flag might get returned yet again. Might, I say. There's Penguin down as well, so they fended him off. We need to see some progress, though. We need to see it quick. We're starting to run out of time.
Yeah, the only issue here for XSET is you say fending them off, right? That's pretty much it. Because they're not hitting any kind of killer blow at the moment. They're kind of just like with one of those fly swats around the room at the moment. But the problem is there's 1,000 flies, and at some point they're going to win that fight. So it's a very difficult situation for them to try and force their way into. And with only 2 minutes left as well, this is going to have to be some almost perfect Halo here from XSET. They need to force this one home. They need to cap, and they need to give themselves the time to move up on the map.
One of the biggest opportunities they've had so far. FilthyG with 2 already on the feet, and the shotgun out of nowhere. StelluR here to ruin Kratos' day. And the opportunity they had to get to that flag, once again, honestly, I think that's the best opportunity they had. Unfortunately, not quite working out. Even down numbers, they'll find a way to even the odds here. FilthyG now just trapped like a rat. Not much he can do.
Right, just looking across the stats as well, C9 just heavily outslaying their opponents at the moment. So you can tell that they're not really feeling any kind of pressure on the map. They're kind of just playing how they want. They can move up on different areas. They can force their way into bar like this. And with only 1 minute 16 left on the clock, at C9, when you're this far up and you're picking up kills, it's looking like this is going to be a 3-0, Alex. I mean, we've already seen some crazy things happen today.
We have.
I just can't see C9 the way that they've played so far really throwing this away.
We've seen crazy things, but this series, no surprises, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Off of what we've seen so far. Third flag now coming out. I'm not sure there's anybody in positioning. You do have the flank, at the very least, coming through. We got Porky J waiting to get the pole. What can Porky J do alone, though? Eco Penguin in with the challenge. Penguin looking for it. He pulls the flag. Last-ditch effort, but the Dynamo Nade through the wall. Gonna rip his shields off and make things near impossible. Kratos, and no chance.
Yeah, I got one question for you, Alex, and that's what's better than 2 flags?
Three flags.
There it is. 3 flags. Going to be on the board pretty sure as the return does come in. I mean, 25 seconds left. Yeah. There's not much to say, really. C9 just look a different class.
I mean, you look at the stats, like you said, read him a weep. StelluR, 22 kills. You got to look at Penguin, too. 18 assists as well. He's had an influence on so much of this game and not dying too much either. FilthyG is going to try his hand. It doesn't, 10 seconds, no matter what they do, that sudden death will not trigger unless they have 2 flags at the very least.
I mean, my OCD is very happy because every single member of C9 in the last few seconds has crossed 20 kills, which is very, very good for me.
Looks a little better.
I tell you what looks even better than 20. That's 2-0. That's 3-0. The series done, dusted. C9 looked exemplary. They looked like the best team I've watched so far.
They did.